Hi guys, it's Steph. Today I wanted to talk a bit about little ways that I think society can start becoming a bit more inclusive for the trans community. And I don't know if these things will be implemented anytime soon or if it's just wishful thinking, but it's just really nice to talk about ways that things could be improved, I think. And number one is having sanitary bins in all toilets, because it's not just women who deal with periods. A lot of trans guys deal with periods, a lot of non-binary people deal with periods. There's a whole group of people that are left out when there are only sanitary bins in the female toilets. Speaking from experience, it's such a horrible feeling when you know you're going out somewhere and you have to plan in your head, is there a disabled toilet I could use? If not, am I gonna have to use the women's because I need this facility that isn't available in the men's? It's really stressful, it's not a nice thing to deal with. So I think that could be a really good step forward. Number two is keeping in with the toilet theme, in that just more gender neutral toilets just everywhere. Because, okay, fair enough, if the government or whoever the fuck is in charge of bathrooms don't want to put sanitary bins in all the toilets, then at least what they could do is have an influx of gender neutral toilets, which means it could just have a sanitary bin in there and anyone who wants to go in can. And people keep kicking up a stink about it's so complicated putting gender neutral toilets. It really isn't, because I've been to quite a few venues that have managed and it hasn't negatively impacted anyone. If anything, it's just benefited people. Number three might be a bit more like wishful thinking on my part, but it's the idea of not assuming people's genders and not addressing people in a way you think they should be addressed. Let me explain, because I feel like that's confusing. You know, I get that employees have to be polite and have to say good afternoon and good day and whatever, but I don't know if like ma'am and sir are necessary terms. Like, I've been out with a group of friends who are all female and we get hi ladies, and it's just like being punched in the face. Whether they think I pass or not, you know, they're misgendering me, and it's just, I don't know if it's necessary. I've never felt the need to go up to a store worker and say, excuse me, ma'am, or excuse me, sir. I just say, excuse me. Groups, you just say, hi guys, because that's more of a gender neutral thing. Or hi everyone, hi everybody. You have sir and ma'am, ladies and gentlemen, and that just excludes everyone who doesn't fit into binary male or female labels. It doesn't always need to be followed up with a gendered word. I mean, there are positives to it in that if I get gendered correctly with hello sir, it makes me feel really good. But I think I'd rather just be referred to neutrally constantly than have one sir in every 10 ma'ams. It doesn't feel nice. And I feel like a lot of trans people will obviously relate to this, and it's just not good. Number four, this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I kind of want to see if it can become a thing in the future. Making trans equipment more accessible. For example, binders. For now, they're only available online. They're not really available on many websites, and they're kind of expensive. For some trans people, it's not an option going online and buying something and having it delivered to their house. Also, it's the whole nightmare of not knowing what size to get. Same goes for things like packers, STP devices, anything like that that's trans related. I really think shops should be made. You get fucking McDonald's popping up all over the place and 1,000,000,001 H&Ms. Why can't we have just like a few trans shops in like main cities? I understand it's not going to be like a niche thing that pops up in like tiny little towns, but I could definitely see them being a thing in London and yeah, big cities, because I would absolutely love to have a place that I could go and browse and take my time and try things on and see what I like. Sometimes people order packers and they're not right for them when they arrive because they're too big, or like they're not the right color that they wanted, or they're just not what they were expecting. How amazing would it be to have a shop where you could go and choose your binder and choose your packer and see what STP device you prefer and all of this stuff? I think that would be really helpful, especially for people that maybe can't afford the well-known branded binders online. I feel like there could be like cheaper options in these shops as well that are more easily accessible for people. Number five, it's not really about trans inclusivity, this one. It's more just about respecting trans people. This is just aimed at cis people, because I've never experienced this from a trans person before. Please just stop asking trans people super personal questions. If you know a trans person really, really well, and you know their boundaries and you know what you're allowed to talk about, then that's fine. If they've said to you, I'm fine discussing hormones with you, then that's cool. If they say I'm fine discussing surgery, then that's cool. If you meet a trans person and within 5 minutes you're asking them what's in their pants, or if they've had surgery, or how they have sex, you really need to stop and reevaluate what the fuck you're doing, because I've had this happen to me and it's really not fun, and it's an uncomfortable experience, and it's not a thing that people do. No cis person, as far as I've seen, meets a cis person and within 2 seconds is asking what's in their pants, unless they want to fuck them. But in these instances, nobody wanted to fuck me, they were just being weird and nosy, and I don't really understand why people think it's okay to ask if they want bottom surgery, or to ask how they feel about their chest, or just anything. If you're gonna ask a trans person a question, this is a guide on how to know if what you're about to say is inappropriate and offensive and stupid. Before you ask a trans person a question, stop and think to yourself, would I want someone asking me this question? Would I want someone to sit in front of me and ask me this question, especially if I just met them and I barely even know who they are? And if the answer is no, then it's probably best for you not to ask that person that question, because you risk offending them, upsetting them, triggering their dysphoria, especially if they're out trying to have a nice time and you just ruin it by talking about all this like technical stuff that they probably don't really want to think about while they're out trying to enjoy themselves. Or just stop asking personal questions, especially stop asking about genitals and sex, because that's just literally, unless you're going to have sex with that trans person, it's nothing to do with you. Sorry that last one got a bit heated, but it's a sore spot. This is basically just a couple of things I wanted to talk about trans awareness and trans inclusivity and being respectful to trans people. If any of you guys have had experiences with any of this stuff, or you know of anyone trying to implement any of the positive ideas, let me know, because I'd love to hear about any of that stuff. I hope you guys are having a good day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye.